guys, so as you can tell by the title, today I'm actually going to be introducing a brand new pet to you. I've only had this pet for about 3 days now. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you've probably seen her on there, but I haven't mentioned her on YouTube yet. So today we're going to be introducing you. Usually in these types of videos, I make you guys wait till the end of the video until I show you the new pet. But in this one, I'm just going to go ahead and grab her real quick and we'll get you introduced first. Okay, so here is my new pet. As you guys can see, I have a Gargoyle Gecko. I'm not going to leave her out for too long because I have only had her a few days, but she is settling in very, very quick. But I just wanted to show you guys really quick. So she is a full-grown adult female Gargoyle Gecko. She's a little bit chubby right now. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but she definitely needs to lose a little bit of weight. But this is her. I'm sure you guys will be seeing her more in the future. But I just wanted to introduce you guys real quick, take a little closer look at her, and now I will tell you how exactly I came to get her. Okay, so that was a quick look at the new pet. Yes, I did get a Gargoyle Gecko. Like I said, I don't want to leave her out too long because I've only had her about 3 days and it is the middle of the day right now. So I know she doesn't want to be awake because Gargoyle Geckos are actually nocturnal, so she needs to go back to sleep. But I know you guys would be interested in seeing her and you'd be mad if I just talked about her and didn't actually show her. So that is my new Gargoyle Gecko. So now I'll go ahead and kind of give you her backstory and why I have her, because I wasn't planning on getting her at all. So I'm sure a lot of you will not like this video no matter what I say, because yes, she technically is a complete impulse pet. And some of you, no matter what the backstory or the circumstances are, you're 100% against impulse pets, which I can understand. So that's fine if you disagree. But with me personally, I was fine with the impulse version of this pet because I do already have a Gargoyle Gecko along with my crested geckos, so I know how to care for them and I am pretty familiar with everything they need. I also had everything I already needed in my house, so I didn't have to go buy anything. She is in a temporary cage and I do need to upgrade her at some point, but compared to what she was in before, this is completely fine. So that is why I was completely comfortable going ahead and getting her on impulse. So like it says in the title, I did adopt her. I did not buy her. I don't know if it was a real adoption because she was just from Craigslist. It was a girl who needed to rehome her, and that is how I got her. I always say I need to stay off Craigslist. Every time I go on there, I come home with a gecko. Last time I got Pablo and Jorge, and this time I got this little girl. I do need a name for her, so if you have any name suggestions, let me know down in the comments. Her name from her old owner was actually Khaleesi, but I don't watch Game of Thrones, so that really doesn't make much sense for me. So if you have any name suggestions for her, make sure to let me know. So now I would just kind of tell you her backstory and why I really wanted to bring her home. Like I said, I found her on Craigslist. I first saw her about a week ago, and when I saw her, I really wanted to get her, but I knew I didn't need her, which, let's be honest, I don't need any more pets. So I was trying not to look at her. I didn't want to get her, but I just felt really bad for her. But I did really want to get her, but I didn't get her. I was like, oh, someone else will get her. She'll go to a good home. It will be fine. So I'll go ahead and put up her setup on the screen here. So if you don't know much about Gargoyle Geckos, this is not a good setup at all. I don't want to bash the girl I got her from because she was a really nice girl and I think she really did love her. It's just her setup wasn't ideal at all. The main thing that really worried me is you can see in the picture she actually had a heat lamp on, and Gargoyle Geckos and crested geckos generally don't need any type of heat, especially a heat lamp like that. She could overheat really, really quickly. They generally do fine at room temperature. My house is right around 75 degrees, which is the perfect temperature for her. So a heat lamp is not a good idea, especially in a cage like this where she couldn't get away. There wasn't a lot of foliage or anything for her to hide under, so it could have warmed up really quick. Also, it was a 10-gallon, so it's not like there was a big heat variance or gradients. So I'm sure it wasn't really cool on the side that didn't have the heat lamp. I'm sure the whole enclosure was just a lot warmer than it should be. A couple other things that really concerned me is the cage was more set up for a terrestrial species instead of an arboreal species. So she had a lot of floor space, but Gargoyle Geckos don't spend too much time on the ground. They do go on the ground a bit, but generally they want to be up a little bit higher, like in branches or in trees. And she really didn't have that in this cage. You can see in the picture she was just laying on the ground, which looks like a very dry environment, and they also need a lot of humidity, so that also worried me. And the third thing that really worried me is her weight. I actually haven't weighed her yet because I've been just letting her settle in and I haven't been handling her much, but she is definitely overweight. She is an adult. I don't know exactly how old she is, but I think she's probably around 2 years old from what I was told, but she's definitely a chunky little girl. She is going to be going on a diet and I'm going to try to get a little bit of weight off of her, but her weight really concerned me because she is pretty chunky. I do have to say she's not quite as overweight as I thought she was in the first picture I saw, but she does still need to lose a few grams. So I first saw that post and like I said, I was going to ignore it, and then the other day I got back on there and it was probably about 5 or so days after I first saw her, and they had just reposted her, so obviously no one was giving her a home. They were still looking for a home for her. So I did everything I always say I'm not going to do, and I just texted the girl just to get some more information. And before you knew it, I was going to pick her up. So like I said, I had everything here for her. Right now, she is still in a 10-gallon. It is too small for an adult in my personal opinion, but it is actually right back behind me. And as you can see, it's vertical like it should be. So even though it's the same size of tank she was in before, it does give her more of that vertical height that she needs instead of the floor space. In the future, I'm going to be moving her into probably an 18 by 18 by 24. I think I want to try a bioactive setup for her though, so that's going to be a while. Since this is still an upgrade from what she was in just because of the space it gives her, I'm not extremely worried about getting her moved right away. I really want to take my time and set up a great enclosure for her, but I do plan on moving her to an 18 by 18 by 24 in the future so she can have a lot of space to jump around, maybe get a little bit more exercise. But for now, she's just using the spare 10-gallon. This was actually Pickle. He was in this before he got the 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra. He moved into that when Harper moved into her adult cage. So this was just sitting in my basement, just waiting. So I will go ahead and give you a quick little view of her cage, just so you guys can see where she's living at the moment. So the bottom, I just have some Eco Earth. I did go ahead and put a little hide down here, because when I first got her, she was staying on the floor constantly. So I put a little hide just in case she is used to sleeping on the floor, so she had somewhere to hide. And then she just has a big piece of grapevine. I actually stole this from my shop inventory. The great thing about having a pet shop in your house is you always have extra supplies on hand. So she has that as her main structure, and then she has a few fake plants right now. She has one in the back. She has one on this side and then one over here. And then in the back corner, she actually has a hammock. You guys have seen these in my other gecko cages. I get these off a girl on Etsy. She actually makes some really amazing homemade things for geckos and other animals. So she has one of those. I haven't seen her use the hammock yet, but a lot of my geckos love them, so I thought I would put it in. And then you can see her right here. This is definitely her favorite spot. This is a Mag Naturals ledge. This used to be in Pablo's enclosure, but he never used it, and she definitely loves it. I only put it a few inches off of the ground since I know she's used to staying closer to the ground. I thought she would like it down there. And then right above that, I just have her magnetic food dish, and I did feed her for the first time last night. And as you guys can see, she's definitely a little pig and she ate almost all of it. So that is her temporary setup. So that is it for today's video. Like I said, I do still need some name suggestions for this little girl. So if you have any suggestions for a female gargoyle gecko, let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed getting to know her a little bit and about her backstory. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.